All right, so if Shedeur Sanders slamming that playbook down and storming out of the Browns facility was the explosion, then what follows is the shockwave. Because you know how the NFL works. Once a rookie phenom makes a power move, once a franchise finds itself at the epicenter of a media firestorm, the rumors don't just spark, they detonate. And now, the floodgates are not just open, they've been obliterated. Let's set the stage. The Browns are staggering. Kevin Stefanski is still seething, pacing through team meetings with a fuse that burns short. If you want the unfiltered story, the raw twists they'll never show on highlight reels, you'd better subscribe, because this saga is only getting messier. Stefanski snapping at assistants, grasping desperately for control, trying to prove the reins are still in his hands. Meanwhile, the locker room feels suffocating. Every glance, every whispered conversation morphing into a test of loyalty and looming over it all like a thunderhead. Shedeur Sanders. His locker remains untouched, suspended between reverence and resentment. His cleats dangle like relics, his jersey folded with precision, but the man himself, gone. And that absence thunders, louder than any presence, because the NFL machine is already buzzing. Where's he headed next? Within 24 hours of his walkout, insiders are tweeting cryptic hints. At least 3 franchises are circling, monitoring every development. Then the fan bases erupt. Falcons fans chant his name and plaster him in red and black mock-ups. Saints loyalists hail him as the heir to Drew Brees. Raiders diehards flood his socials with black and silver emojis, screaming, "Vegas is calling." And here's the delicious irony. The tighter the Browns clamp down, the louder the speculation roars. Jimmy Haslam drops a boilerplate statement about internal matters being handled privately, but nobody's buying it. Cleveland no longer controls the narrative. Shedeur does. Because, let's be real, this wasn't a tantrum, it was chess. He knew walking out would ignite the rumor mill, apply pressure to ownership, and crown him the headline. Now he sits back, watching franchises line up like suitors, each praying to be the chosen one. Behind the curtain, chaos reigns. Stefanski pushes for discipline, fines, suspensions, a public rebuke to restore his authority. Haslam, though, sees dollar signs. He knows Shedeur is more than a quarterback. He's a brand, a headline factory, a walking endorsement deal. Losing him would be catastrophic. Trading him even worse, because every dazzling highlight in another uniform would brand Cleveland as the franchise that fumbled destiny. But the leaks keep pouring. Anonymous AFC executives murmur, "If Sanders is on the block, we're calling." NFC insiders whisper about desperate teams hunting for their future face of the franchise. Soon, ESPN panels are debating his landing spots. Atlanta, big market, legacy potential, desperate for a quarterback who electrifies. New Orleans? A fan base addicted to swagger, and Shedeur oozes it. Miami? If Tua's future is uncertain, imagine Sanders under the South Beach lights. That's box office. Meanwhile, Cleveland squirms. Stefanski mutters, "We're focused on the players here at pressers." But nobody's listening, because the story isn't about those who stayed. It's about the one who left. And the fractures deepen. Veterans grumble, "If I pulled that stunt, I'd be cut instantly." Younger players shrug. He's just doing what we all wish we could. It's no longer a team, it's factions. And in the NFL, a divided locker room is a dead locker room. Zoom in on Shedeur. While Cleveland spins into chaos, he projects cool composure, posting workout clips, dropping cryptic one-liners like, "Respect is earned both ways," or "Loyalty's a two-way street." Nothing direct, but just enough to keep the pot boiling. Each post racks up millions of views. Each phrase is dissected like scripture. His silence toward the Browns? Deafening. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders steps into the frame, and you know, Prime isn't letting his son get dragged without firing back. He smiles behind his sunglasses on national TV, saying, "My boy knows his worth." He was raised not to settle. It's more than support, it's a warning. A reminder. Shedeur doesn't stand alone. With Prime at his side, he's not just a player, he's a movement. And now the rumor mill mutates into trade proposals. Analysts speculate the Falcons offering a first-rounder plus a lineman, the Saints dangling premium picks, and a defensive star, the Raiders concocting a blockbuster for headlines. Each hypothetical deal makes Cleveland look weaker. Because here's the truth. No matter what they choose, the Browns lose. Keep Shedeur, and you've got a fractured relationship with a rookie who no longer trusts the system. Trade him, and you become the franchise infamous for squandering a generational talent before he ever played a full season.
Not in this league. The fan warfare is so ferocious, it's spilling into preseason stadiums, arguments, scuffles, even banners pointed directly at you, ownership screaming, "Choose a side." The national spotlight is blinding. This isn't sports reporting anymore. It's cultural commentary. Talk shows dissect it. Business analysts debate brand power. Former players weigh in, half championing Shedeur, half condemning him as entitled. And the NFL? They're rattled, because if Shedeur actually pulls this off, if he forces his escape and lands in a superior situation, it could ignite a revolution of rookies seizing control of their destinies. The very draft system could be on the chopping block. So, let's hand out some mock awards for this act of the saga. The Puppet Master Award, Shedeur Sanders, for weaponizing silence and cryptic Instagram captions into the most devastating negotiating arsenal in football. The Titanic Medal, the Cleveland Browns, for steering directly into an iceberg they should have spotted miles away. The Primetime Playbook Trophy, Deion Sanders, because every move unfolding here was rehearsed in that household years in advance. The moral, the NFL is evolving, whether old-school commanders like Stefanski like it or not. Players are no longer faceless gears in a machine. They're brands, voices, movements. And when a franchise refuses to adapt, they don't just forfeit games, they hemorrhage stars. The Browns now stand at a crossroads. Do they bend, lure Shedeur back with pledges of respect and transformation? Do they dig in, gamble on a trade, and hope the haul somehow balances the humiliation? Or do they implode outright, dragging everyone down with them? Because here's the harsh reality. Every hour Shedeur stays away, his leverage multiplies. Every SportsCenter replay of his college brilliance makes him look more irreplaceable. Every public blunder from Cleveland makes them appear too brittle to handle the era of superstar empowerment. And the most terrifying thought for Browns fans? Deep down, they know how this movie usually ends in Cleveland. Not with glory, not with redemption, but with heartbreak. And right now, Shedeur Sanders looks poised to be the next cursed chapter, unless he pens a new epic elsewhere. The whispers have roared into thunder. Speculation has hardened into inevitability. Shedeur Sanders isn't rumored to be leaving anymore. He's gone. Out. Finished. And the NFL world braces itself for his next chapter. Picture the scene. Cleveland, shattered and seething, licking its wounds after botching yet another quarterback. Saga. The front office? Silent. But silence in the NFL is louder than any press conference. When a franchise stops speaking, it's because they've lost the narrative. And here, Shedeur owns it. Every camera, every microphone, every spotlight. Then comes the bombshell. A Schefter tweet, a breaking news siren, that jarring ESPN alert you can hear in your sleep. Shedeur Sanders has been traded. 4 words that detonate chaos across the sports world. Phones erupt. Fan bases melt down. Hashtags trend worldwide in seconds. The Browns don't just lose a quarterback. They lose their future. The trade details trickle out like dominoes. First round picks, promising prospects, maybe even a defensive star. None of it matters, because the headline is singular. Cleveland lost Shedeur. And in a league where quarterbacks are kings, that's a death sentence. Now imagine the press conference. Shedeur strides in, sharply suited, carrying himself like he's been rehearsing this moment his entire life. Cameras explode with flashes. Reporters shout. Fans outside roar his name before he's even taken a snap. He speaks, calm yet razor sharp. First off, I want to thank everyone who believed in me. This is where I was meant to be. Boom. Instant chills. He's not merely a player joining a roster. He's a movement igniting a city. And imagine that city, maybe Atlanta. The story practically writes itself. Deion Sanders once electrified. Atlanta with unmatched swagger, and now his son has arrived to finish the prophecy. Prime legacy. Reborn. Fans are already donning split-era jerseys, half emblazoned with Deion, half with Shedeur, all destiny woven into one name. Or maybe the chapter unfolds in New Orleans, a franchise built on flair, resilience, and spectacle. A quarterback who thrives brightest beneath the heaviest lights is welcomed into a dome ready to erupt with thunderous energy. In a city that knows no subtlety, Shedeur would instantly become the new poster child, the embodiment of New Orleans, boldness. And then there's Las Vegas. Picture it, Shedeur in black and silver, towering larger than life across strip billboards, casinos cashing in on the frenzy, the Raiders leaning fully into the chaos that has always defined them. A perfect marriage of spectacle and rebellion. No matter the destination, the vibe remains identical. This isn't the arrival of a quarterback. It's the coronation of a cultural force. While one city celebrates rebirth, Cleveland smolders in ruins. Browns fans are furious, devastated, hollowed out. The dog-pound lifers who've endured every cursed quarterback experiment, Manziel, Mayfield, Watson, are muttering bitterly, Of course we botched it again." Jerseys burn in driveways. Callers on local radio demand ownership sell the franchise. Stefanski's name trends for all the wrong reasons. Because let's be crystal clear, this wasn't just a trade. This was a public indictment of Stefanski, of Haslam, of the very fabric of Cleveland football. The message could not be louder. Stars don't want to stay here. Meanwhile, the NFL is practically salivating. Nothing sells like chaos, and Shedeur, Sanders has become the biggest storyline in the league. Training camp battles, preseason matchups. Forget it. The only headline anyone cares about is Shedeur's first game in his new colors. Schedulers are already flexing games into prime time. Networks are drooling over sky-high ratings. Sponsors are cutting deals faster than Nike can ship fresh jerseys. And those jerseys, gone in hours. Every size, every variant, sold out. The local economy just got an adrenaline shot, courtesy of Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur, he's leaning into it masterfully. No defensiveness, no apologies. Confident, but never arrogant. His words land like thunderbolts. I'm here to work. I'm here to win. Whether you adore him or despise him, you cannot look away. But now, let's return to Cleveland's collapse, because in truth, it borders on Shakespearean tragedy. They had the jewel. They had the future. And instead of protecting it, respecting it and constructing a dynasty around it, they fractured it. Public confrontations, questionable decisions, a total erosion of trust. Then the walkout, the infamous sound of the playbook slamming onto the ground. It wasn't just pages hitting the turf. It was the echo of a franchise crumbling. The fallout is brutal. Veterans openly questioning leadership. Young players whispering, "Am I next?" Trust has evaporated. And in the NFL, trust isn't optional. It's oxygen. Without it, you don't have a team. You have a collection of paychecks. Fans are starting to recognize the painful truth. This isn't misfortune. This isn't a curse. It's systemic incompetence. And Shedeur Sanders has just placed a blinding spotlight on it for the world to see. But while Cleveland sinks into its own abyss, Shedeur ascends. His new squad is buzzing with momentum. Teammates rave about his energy, his composure, his natural leadership. Coaches are sketching out playbooks designed to unleash him in Week 1. And fans, they're already whispering Super Bowl. It's irrational. It's premature. And it's exactly what makes football enchanting. Because sports aren't just about numbers. They're about narratives. And Shedeur's story, walking away from dysfunction, betting on himself, and finding renewal in a brighter place, is the kind of tale that transcends stat sheets. It's the kind of story that sells out stadiums, moves mountains of merchandise, and inspires believers. It's all about rhythm, starts and stops, momentum, then interruption. One moment you're heating up, then a sudden stall. The tempo drops, your body cools, then you try to reignite it. That kind of disruption, my arm, my body, it just wasn't conditioned for that cycle. It's not just physical. It's a full-body recalibration. And then the press comes lobbing slick questions like grenades. And Shedeur Sanders steps up, smirking, unbothered, and absolutely unwilling to play along with their tired narratives. What followed wasn't a response. It was a masterclass, a media handling clinic dished out with style, wit, and precision. Shedeur didn't just answer. He unraveled the narrative line by line with surgical calm. If you thought his brilliance was confined to the pocket, Just wait until you see. Him sidestep trap questions like he's evading blitzing linebackers. Let's unpack it. When critics like Tony Grossi implied Sanders was sabotaging his own stock by self-reporting soreness, Shedeur didn't blink. He corrected the record and crushed the spin, casually, convincingly. And then came the hyperbole. Did you catch Mary Kay? Out there tweaking for headlines like she's parched for drama. No caption needed, just chaos. You can already see her, shaping the next salacious spin. Look again. That's not reporting. That's desperation in high heels. If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe. Shedeur Sanders is redefining QB1 energy, on and off the field. The media thought they had him cornered. Polished agendas, loaded questions sharpened like steak knives, all poised to carve up Shedeur with that classic setup. Some people say, followed by, are you possibly overhyped? The tone? Patronizing. The trap? Obvious. The result? An absolute meltdown. For the media, one smug reporter fumbled into a question. That's pretty mature of you. I know it's hard to pull yourself from competition. Did you wrestle with the decision to self-report? Sanders' response? Graceful, grounded, and loaded with layered conviction. Of course. It crossed my mind. But my father's voice stays in my head. Always. Boom or blood. That's his motto. I didn't want to half-step it. I wanted to perform at my peak and give my teammates my best. That's what matters. And just like that, touchdown. But this wasn't some PR-approved monologue. This was authentic, smooth, strategic, fireworks without a flame, poise that whispered confidence, not arrogance. See, there's a special kind of delusion that overtakes sports media when they think they've got a young, unapologetic black quarterback in a trap. They mistake confidence for cockiness, swagger for ego, calm for inexperience, drip for distraction. But Shedeur, he shattered that illusion, flipped the script, rewrote the narrative, and walked off like he just broke the fourth wall in a Scorsese film. He didn't spin damage control. He executed dominance. And the audacity, the unmitigated gall of these reporters to step up to a man they smeared, pretending like they hadn't tried to assassinate his character with speculation and spin. Mary Kay, Tony Grossi, miss us with the tweaker energy. Stay focused, stay respectful. Now back to the point. This wasn't even an injury. It was soreness from adjusting to new climate conditions. He'd been through worse at Colorado, without missing time. It wasn't his decision to sit out. It was medical staff. And honestly, some of us believe it wasn't just them. It was the higher-ups. Barry, Haslam, sabotage in a suit. Yet Shedeur remained unshaken. No flinching, no stuttering, no missteps. He stood there like a general in a press war, his answers slicing through, agendas like a scalpel through static. You could see the unease building behind the fake media smiles, their scripts unraveling in real time as Sanders dismantled every setup with calm logic and steel-eyed clarity. What do you do when your target refuses to react? When your trap gets turned into a TED Talk, you freeze. You blink. You realize the rookie just took over the interview. How important are these joint practice reps to you? Every rep is sacred. Every time I step on that field, I treat it like it's my last. Guys we worked with last week, some of them aren't even here anymore. This is about more than plays. It's about legacy. Mic drop. Every response was a smooth jab with knockout power. No yelling, no ego. Just surgical dissection of weak narratives, dripping with subtle shade and wrapped in that signature Sanders chill. They came expecting fireworks. They got a solar eclipse. The lesson: never confuse polish with passivity. He's not here to be your headline. He's writing his own. While the press conference started tense, it ended with Shedeur sipping metaphorical electrolytes while the media scrambled to rewrite their angles. Reporters came to humble him. They left humbled. Mics leaned back like they'd just witnessed a clinic. This wasn't improvisation. This was strategy, precision, legacy in motion. "I'm not here to prove people wrong," he said. "I'm here to prove myself right." And just like that, he did. He was unfazed, mentally anchored. All that outside noise, it didn't rattle him. It never does. That kind of chatter doesn't move the needle, not in his headspace. And the cherry on top? He delivered the entire performance with the poise of someone who had somewhere far more elite to be in 5 minutes. This wasn't just confidence. This was orchestrated composure, swagger executed with surgical timing. Shedeur Sanders didn't walk into that press conference. He glided in like it was a runway show for calculated dominance. No mic drop necessary. His aura was the mic, and you could practically see the synapses misfiring in the minds of the reporters. They tossed curveballs, and Shedeur treated them like slow-pitch charity tosses. Every passive-aggressive jab returned with a smirk that said, "Bless your heart for trying." No panic, no stumble, no hesitation. Just a calm, unwavering tone. The voice of a quarterback who's not only reading defenses, but reading the press box too. This wasn't a press conference. It was an exhibition. A graceful dismantling of lazy narratives dressed up as journalism. Every answer delivered like it came footnoted, with clarity, depth, and a side of truth serum. He wasn't just answering, he was correcting the syllabus. They came armed with bait. He came armed with blueprints and receipts. He didn't raise his voice once. Just a well-timed pause, a laser-focused gaze, and that unspoken message. "I know exactly what you're trying to do. And let's not act like this is the first time someone tried to gift wrap a scandal and toss it his way like a birthday surprise. But this time, the grenade didn't explode. It smiled, dropped a quote, and left the room, calmly detonating every assumption the media walked in with. One reporter tried the classic setup. "Where do you feel you've grown the most? On the field or off?" His answer, mentally, "No, question." Doesn't matter whether the media spins things positively or negatively. I'm just not the same as I was in college. I treat people with respect. Even when they hate me for reasons they can't explain, I stay grounded. You guys, see you next video.